Just like video, audio recordings can be a vital part of an online course. An online course that is aligned features audio players that are embedded correctly and also accompanied with a text transcription. I will, in this demonstration, look at two different types of recordings and how to embed them correctly into a course. So the first recording that I'll start with, audio recording, is a podcast. And I've looked and found a podcast that can work specifically for my rock history course. And the good thing about this podcast is it offers an embed code. And when you are looking for podcasts that are beneficial for your course, um, take some time to find podcasts that include the embed code. Now, if they do not include the embed code, you can always link your students to the podcast. So here I will select and copy this code. And now I will drop this podcast into my course, into the page that it's relevant to. So I'll go ahead and edit the page, and I will, just like with video, I will place the cursor where I want the podcast to live, and then I will use the insert and edit media button. And I will switch to embed and paste. Okay, now this podcast also includes a convenient width and height that I can change. And because I've already gone ahead and tested out what width I want, if it is just a number, this is in terms of pixels, but you can also change it to percentage. So I will change this to 45%, which just means 45% of the maximum width of the page on whatever device it is showing on. So I will select OK. So now the podcast is embedded into the page, so I will now save the page. So the great thing about embedding audio and media in general is that you can place the multimedia in context of the area in your page that it relates to. So in this case, I have a couple of headings to provide good navigation for students, and then they can go ahead and play the recording and listen to it within context of the page. Okay, the second example I have is embedding an audio recording that I've uploaded into 3C Media. So I will go to my 3C Media account, and audio recordings can be uploaded the same as video. And here I can preview this recording, and here's the embed code. So because it's an audio player like what you see here, the embed code does not need to be the dimensions for a video. So with some trial and error, I have found that a width of 420 is good, and a height can be very minimal. A height of 50 works really well. So sometimes in 3C Media, changing the numbers here do not translate, so I have to just go in manually and do it. So you just make sure in both sections of height and width that you make the changes. So now I will select all, copy, and I will go into the content page, and I will place the recording right here, placing the cursor just above this heading. And now, because it is 3C Media and I do not want the scroll bars to appear, I'll go into the HTML editor and I will find the non-breaking space that I added, and I'll go ahead and paste, and I will save the page without switching back to the rich content editor to preserve the audio player that is clean. It shows the minutes and seconds, the volume adjustment, the play button, and it takes minimal space. So to recap, this is about embedding audio players, whether they are podcasts or recordings uploaded. And actually, before I finish the recap, let me talk about one more thing that's important, and that is adding the transcript to an audio recording that is, for example, like a podcast. So the recommended way to do that is to provide the transcript on a Word document, and once you have uploaded that Word document to your files area, then you can go in and edit the page, and immediately following the audio podcast type recording, create the space and go ahead and, like a link, but this is a link to an actual file in your course, you will first title your link. So in this case, I will call it Counterculture Transcript, highlight it, and now I will go to the right files section. In this case, I am just using an example. It's not the actual transcript, but it is a docx file. So I will select it. I see that it's highlighted that it has been linked, and I will save the page. And again, this is the recommended way to provide the transcript to a podcast. And if you link it correctly, students will be able to either select the title itself to actually download the Word document, or they can use the preview button and select that, and the transcript will open up directly in the page that they can read along if they choose as they are listening to. So for the real recap, we have talked about embedding audio players to add audio content that are embedded correctly and accompanied with the text transcript. We worked a little bit with sizing the audio player as needed, paying attention to some of the HTML details with scroll bars, and paying attention to overall good web page design. So again, embedding audio and transcripts for your aligned course.